Here's a fine-looking tractor that would be a great addition to any collection. It's a 1949 Case VAC, owned by Richard Adams of Columbia, Missouri. This model first caught Richard's eye while he was raking hay for a neighbor farmer.
In my younger days, and I was working for a farmer, and he had a B John Deere, and my job was to do all the mowing and do all the raking, and I keep ahead of him, and he was a baling. And we went to a farm, and they were supposed to help us, but the guy got sick, and so I put the rake on his VAC. So that introduced me to a VAC, and I've sort of liked them ever since then.
It's easy to see why the VA was Case's top seller. First, there was a large number of variants available for the series. This one is a VAC, the C standing for Cultivator, one of the more popular models offered. It's powered by a 4-cylinder, 124 cubic inch engine with a 4-speed transmission. Richard's VAC has a foot throttle, a handy feature that makes it fun to drive.
It's just like a car. It's got to accelerate, you just press the pedal down and away it goes. But it has a throttle also. You can lock it wide open or you can use a foot feed. But if you're raking, come up to a tight corner, you can let off of it and turn around and hit the foot feed just quicker. Keep your hands free to steer.
Richard bought this tractor from a friend who had a spare VAC to sell. It was in good shape mechanically, but required a bit of body work to get it looking like new.
It was very much pitted. It had a lot of pitting in the body parts. The seat and everything was, sheet metal was pitted. And I sandblasted it and put heavy build primer on it and sanded it, and heavy build primer and sanded it, and to get it to where it's smooth and will shine.
Richard loves to show off his Case at tractor shows, and he always gets compliments on how good his tractor looks.
They realize that I've rubbed on it a lot. You got to get it to shine, you really got to make it smooth. You got to start with a smooth tractor. The wheels on this here, I think I had to sand them I don't know how many times to get it to shine like it is. And like the grill on this tractor, I think I sanded on it for 2 weeks.
Richard spent many years working on tractors for other people, like his friend and fellow collector Kee Groshong. But it was a push from his wife that got Richard to finally take the plunge and start collecting on his own.
My wife encouraged me to buy a tractor. Why don't you buy a tractor? And I'm always working on everybody's tractor. I got the place full of them, and I go to town and Mr. Groshong's and work on his. We work on tractors together. And so she said, "Why don't you buy some tractors?" That's all it took. I started buying tractors. I got 2 or 3 at home to finish.
Richard and Kee are both members of the Missouri River Valley Steam Engine Association, and they share a building out at the showgrounds where they store a few tractors. It's a handy thing to have come showtime.
It's really nice. When you want to come to the show, you just unlock the building and you're showing. Yeah, it's nice to have a building. We have things in it during the show, and then basically it's just storage. It's not finished. We're working on it.
Richard says he may be slowing down, but he's always on the lookout for something new or different to add to his classic collection.
I definitely have classic tractor fever, and my family knows I have that. I've been married 51 and a half years, and my wife thinks it's a good deal. She's the one that writes the checks. It feels wonderful. I'm glad. She said I'd probably just be sitting around if I didn't have classic tractor fever.
Thank you for catching Classic Tractor Fever. If you can't get enough Case, be sure to check out these other stories. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button to keep more Classic Tractor Fever rolling.